last time on Final Fantasy IV, we got demoted and sent on a job to the Village of Mist, where we have to deliver this weird ring thing. And of course there's also a monster in the cave on the way there, but I'm sure Cecil and Kain can handle it. So, before we actually do our mission, we are going to be going to the Village of Baron. First off, here are Kain's stats. I will get to his jump command in a moment. We haven't even really gone over battle stuff just yet, but there are his stats, as I've said before. I don't understand them, but maybe you do. Maybe you can do a lot of math in your head. And here are his items. Not bad, not bad. So, with that out of the way, and we've seen the character's thoughts, let's check out the village. So there is an item shop here, as well as a weapon and armor store, but the weapon and armor store is actually locked, as some of the villagers will tell us. We also have this inn, but we haven't been injured at all, so why would we need to come here? Yeah, you know, I'm actually just really tired, and wow, 494, that is a really weird amount of gil to have at the start of the game, but oh well. Anyway, don't worry, I was talking about money, but I'm not going to take your taxes. I don't even know you. Cecil's probably not the... Okay, is Cecil actually asking about this? I mean, I assume that this is just, you know, everybody, the game's way of conveying that everybody is terrified of Baron, and by extension, the Dark Knight, who is, you know, supposed to be pretty loyal to Baron, even though it seems like we're wavering a little bit. We asked a question, and then office politics happened. Bagan's an asshole, and the king listens to him far too much, so, you know, maybe these villagers aren't exactly correct. Now, you do have some items here, and there's one in particular I'm gonna really want to stock up on. And it's not the tent, because first off, those are expensive, but you can use them to restore HP and MP, and you can see all the effects of all the items. I actually want as many Libras as I can carry. Now, the Libra spell will check out the stats and weaknesses of the enemy. Well, not really the stats, it'll check out the HP and weaknesses of the enemy. Now, I'm really gonna want these bestiaries, not so much the gnomish bread, because that displays a minimap, which is absolutely useless, as we're going to see in a bit, but yeah, bestiaries, really good, and we'll see why. I would not want to stock up on these if this weren't the DS version, but it is the DS version, so, you know, I would really like this, actually. So there is just a path to Mysidia. Now they can actually seal it off, though I still don't know why we didn't just take this road to Mysidia, knock everyone out, then come back and shut it off from our side before they shut it off on their side, but, you know, I guess Baron has its whole military rigmarole, whatnot. Oh yeah, these guys are the tutorial guys. There's a tutorial room in like every Final Fantasy game. Actually, this might be the first one there is. I'm trying to think back if there was one in... Actually, no, there was definitely one in Final Fantasy II. Don't think there was one in 1. I really can't remember one in 3, yeah, 1 in 3, though. 2 numbers in a row, whoa! Alright, so this is all small stuff that I'm probably going to mention anyway, so, you know, non-com guys, I guess this is for you more than anything else, because I'm going to forget all these small tidbits of dialogue, especially that one about X and Y. I get X and Y mixed up a lot in this game, because I think it's Y that triggers auto-battle in battle, and X that switches party members to one who can move, whereas on the field I think it's the opposite way around of what I'd expect, where I think it's Y opens the menu, X changes characters? Or maybe it's the other way around, I forget. Anyway, this is Cid's house, and this is Cid's daughter. She's never really mentioned all that much. But, here she is. Okay, well, oh, hey Cid. Thought you had work to do, but guess you just decided to sleep. I mean, you did kinda think... I'm pretty sure somebody mentioned, hey Cid, you should sleep at some point, and he took that advice, and that's good. He should rest. I mean, even in his dreams he's thinking about work, so he's not exactly got the healthiest working relationship, so he should calm down a bit. Alright, this is Rose's house. Yep. How's it going? Nah, I just beat up some nerds, no problem. Well, Rose is staying at the castle for a while, so I don't know what she's gonna get up to, but I'm not involving her. It's just me and Kane. Cecil and Kane. Dark Knight and Dragoon buddies. Well, I'm sure that'll never be important. Why would we need to go to the waterways? That would just be silly. So anyway, here's a dancer. As I mentioned in Final Fantasy III, never really understood why the dancers are here. Especially in the 2D games where it's just, you know, pixel animating. I still don't quite get it here, but in case you wanted to see the horribly resolutioned model dancing in a bikini, well, Final Fantasy IV has got you covered. I mean, you can do better. You really can. But it's here. Alright, so there's some hidden items. If you get stopped, that means there's an invisible chest. So we got a tent, a bronze hourglass, and I think that's it? Seems like that's it, yep. Having that tent is always useful, because, again, that's a heal and MP up, as long as you are either on the world map or on a save spot. Save spots are a new addition, but we're not going to see them for at least a little while. But, I mentioned repeatedly in Final Fantasy III, or at least I remember myself doing so, that Final Fantasy III really could have used them. Anyway, battle time! Battle time? Seriously, no battle time? Holy crap! Man, look at all these steps I'm taking. Okay, finally we get an enemy. Alright, so we have the floating eye and the sword rat, I believe. So, why don't we use one of these bestiaries? Because the bestiary, if, I'll see in a moment. Looks like we have to wait for a turn. Because, as you can see on the bottom screen right there, those little bars are going up as we go. That's the active time battle system. That's new to Final Fantasy IV, and basically it's just a slightly different way to do turn-based stuff. Rather than just straight-up turns, everyone has this active time battle system bar, or ATB bar. That's a bit less of a long way to say it. But yes, basically you just have to wait for your turn rather than everyone going, and depending on speed, that determines who goes when. Instead, speed determines how fast your bar fills compared to everyone else. And you know, it is a little bit better than turn-based, though I'm sure people still get kind of annoyed at it. But hey, this was a pretty big thing back when Final Fantasy IV was first released, and it was the gimmick of quite a few Final Fantasies for a long time. Oh, and we actually got into a different battle with some, wow, I completely forgot the name of goblins. How did I do that? How did I forget the name of goblins? Literally the most common enemy in the series. They're in like every game. But anyway, yes, active time battle system was very prevalent, and basically every game was kind of a variation on it. This game has kind of the most basic ATB thing, in that it's kind of just ATB on its own. Final Fantasy V has a job system, 6 does a few different things, 7 has materia, 8 has GFs, 9 has very slow active time battle system, and 10 actually went back to turn-based for a while, though, to be honest, 10 has really good turn-based. But anyway, that's enough of that. So yeah, I just wanted to get the goblins out of the way, because even though they do appear in the caves, I figured, hey, we might as well check out some enemies out here. Because I didn't really get much time to actually do that, because I actually didn't get many battles on the way to the cave. Anyway, those jerks just cast Gradual Petrify on me. Now, Petrify is pretty much instant death. If the petrification is completed, the character will turn to stone and will not be able to do anything unless you use a gold needle on them or use magic. However, Gradual Petrify is a little bit different. As long as you complete the battle before you're completely petrified, you won't get petrified, and then it'll completely wear off after battle, which is very nice. I also show off the Darkness command here. In the earlier versions of the game, it was just a straight-up attack that will drain your health. Here it's more of a status effect. Basically, you activate Darkness, it will still drain your HP every time you attack. However, you can use it for multiple times, and it will basically just apply a Darkness element to your attacks and also some extra damage, but don't ask me for the math. Anyway, yeah, that was me just sitting there grinding because the cave is actually right here. So we're gonna use that tent after sorting the items. Might as well. I'm not that low on HP and MP. Actually, I'm not low on MP at all, because neither Cecil nor Kain actually have spells, so that's kind of useless. Anyway, I went over Cecil's command. Kain's command is Jump, which I did show off earlier. Basically, it's just like in Final Fantasy III. Oh god, I need to talk about other stuff. You jump up, you're not available for a few turns. Well, not a few turns, just for a few seconds in the ATB bar, and then Kain will come down and do a very damaging attack on one enemy. Okay, so, now that we're done with that, we met Namingway, and now he's a cartographer, and he's going to give us a map, which is really good, because look at that, we have a map on our bottom screen. But, notice it's not filled off. Yes, we'll get a reward for filling out the map. This is actually really, really good, and one of my favorite features of Final Fantasy IV. I think more games should really reward you for exploration in RPGs. I know Xenoblade does that pretty well, where if you discover, like, areas, or major areas especially, I think those give you a little more XP than just, like, walking to a different section of plains. Could be wrong about that. But anyway, yeah, Xenoblade rewards you for experience for exploring. This game will reward you with items if you explore the entirety of the floor, and quite frankly, I like filling out maps, so, this is pretty fun. Well, I wouldn't say fun, but it is a satisfying way of having you fill out every nook and cranny of the map, even the useless ones, because that's kind of how older JRPGs are. There are just a lot of, you know, not as many dead ends as in other games. I mean, Final Fantasy II was really mean with that, but Final Fantasy IV is at least a little bit better. Oh god, we're getting hit with slow constantly. The effects of that should be obvious. It will just slow your ATB bar down. Anyway, yeah, but Final Fantasy IV, you know, like other JRPGs, is kind of survival sort of thing. Item resource management, kinda. I mean, that is basically what they were trying to do back in the day. You have a big old dungeon, and there is a path to the end, but there are a few ways you can diverge from the path. But rather than being there to really make the dungeon more interesting, I mean, it kinda does, but it's more so there so you waste your time and get attacked by more enemies, which causes you to use more resources. Oh, and another thing I love about this game, it actually shows you how much your stats grow. Again, I don't understand any sort of bit of it, but most Final Fantasy games are like, oh yeah, by the way, you leveled up, and that's all we're going to tell you. We're not actually going to show you how much your stats went up, just we're going to tell you that they did. Figure it out yourself. Remember all of these numbers from before you leveled up, and now look at them now and see how much they've increased. Yeah, I've never done that in a Final Fantasy game. At most, I notice HP and MP growths, and that's it. Yeah. So, since I've gone over the whole item resource kind of thing, I'd also like to bring up the fact that I really love the DS version because it actually makes use of both screens. Because remember, Final Fantasy III didn't? I had that single screen for pretty much the entirety of the game because nothing happened on the bottom screen. At best, it was the world map. And that's it. I don't think there were dungeon maps, I think it was a black screen, and during battles, it would just give you like a random background, and all the information was still on the top screen. Here, it removes all of the clutter from the top screen and puts it on the bottom, and there is plenty of room so you can actually see the information. And not only that, because I haven't explicitly said it by now, the good thing about Libra in this game is it's permanent. When you use it on an enemy, you will forever be able to see how much HP they have left and what their weaknesses are, in case you forget. Or, you know, being able to see their HP is nice for later enemies, when you kinda just want them to die, and then you can actually check Well, are they close to dying? Yes, they are. Oh, and another thing I haven't mentioned, because I've been talking about so much in this episode, the fact that you can also see how close you are to leveling up. That's so nice. I love it. So anyway, we've been getting yelled at by some mysterious voice for a lot of this dungeon, but nah, who cares about that? I gotta talk about tutorial stuff because it is very important, and I am excited to talk about it, and we're actually almost all the way through this dungeon. And I never really mentioned the aesthetics because I don't like the dungeon theme that much, and it's a cave, so it's boring. Anyway, on to more interesting things. Voice is still yelling at us, but since we're almost out of the cave, I'm sure you know what that means. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore the hell out of your warnings. That is basically just a way to ask you, are you ready? And of course, I am. The mist gathers, and we fight our first boss, the Mist Dragon. 556 HP, 12 strength, 12 stamina, 3 speed, 6 intellect, 6 spirit, 12 attack, 115 accuracy, 15 evasion, 32 defense, 10 magic defense, 15 magic evasion. In the future, I'm probably gonna have to not mention a lot of those stats because they don't matter, and it is weak to the dark element. Hey, what a coincidence. We have dark element. Anyway, analyzing target status is pretty useless on bosses because I don't think it doesn't actually show their HP. However, it does show their weakness, so in case you want that, then you got it. It is resistant to light, but we don't have any characters with light, we just have darkness, so wail away. The only problem with this strategy, of course, is the fact that Cecil is rapidly losing HP. I would also suggest not to use Kain's jump command for this reason. Now, the first boss of a lot of Final Fantasy games starting at this point act as a sort of tutorial for the ATB system. And not only is turn order slightly different than it was in the first 3 games, time passes. The game really wants you to know that. And because it wants you to know that, this first boss here, if you attack it while it is in the form of mist, it will use a very damaging counterattack. And trust me, that will really wreck you. And eventually, yes, it will do this. By the way, the name of its damaging attack is Freezing Mist, I believe. Anyway, yeah, I had Kain jump. I said you shouldn't really do that, but for 2 reasons, just in case it collapses into mist, and because Cecil might also get low on health. Oh, nice, critical. But because Cecil has plenty of HP, now he has less plenty of HP. Did you seriously miss? And the Mist Dragon just reformed. There really shouldn't have been a problem there, and there wasn't because Cecil's still kinda far away from dying. Oh, seriously, Kain? What is with your accuracy? Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, thankfully I think it's a little harder for Cecil to KO himself when he's using the Darkness command. I think it's still possible in this version of the game, though. It was definitely possible in earlier versions when it was just a straight-up attack, but I think I'm safe here. And past self, why are you not there we go. Oh, right, because I didn't have a potion. Whoops, past me, you're a little more on the ball than, well, present me. Thankfully, though, we should be just about done here. Hopefully, for Cecil's sake, we are almost done. Because, well, so is he. And Kain finally hits the Mist Dragon and finishes it. Of course, the guy who misses a lot lands the finishing blow. Cecil kinda deserved that one, but hey, whatever. We finished it, and that's all that matters. And of course, level up for Kain. Nothing for Cecil, unfortunately, but hey, level 11, pretty good. And that's the end of the spooky mist beast that haunted this cave. Any opinions on this, guys? Well, other than murderous intent, but evil intent, nah. I mean, I guess technically speaking, evil intent and murderous intent might be slightly different things. I mean, I hope it is, otherwise, we're evil for having killed a whole lot of monsters. Anyway, our reward for clearing the cave was 5 potions. Considering I ran out of potions, that's probably a good thing. We're gonna be getting some pretty good rewards from here on out. Alright, hey everyone in the village, I have this ring, oh dear. By the way, and the original versions, this was called the bomb ring. It made this a little more obvious. In this version, though, you might not see it coming, other than the fact that the lighting actually starts, you know, red.
He wished this village torched.
But why? Why?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? Hey, lady, the fire's over here. Look at that. Look at that low frame rate fire. Come on, it's hilarious.
I've heard of their lot. Men who can conjure eidolons. Summoners.
Then the dragon we slew was her mother's?
Sorry, green-haired girl, we kinda killed your mom's stand. I don't know how we did that. I guess the Darkness command is Cecil's stand? I can't think of any song names with darkness in it, so I'll have to figure it out later. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the best thing.
No.
Oh, not yet. Okay, just a second.
Foul work to be sure, but we'll need to kill the girl.
I'm gonna kill this little girl!
It's her or us.
Come on, I really want to murder this child! Look at her, she's grieving, she deserves it!
King?
Look, I really want to kill this child, Cecil. Come on.
No king of mine.
I thought you might say that.
I guess I'll hold off on my child murder today.
I owe His Majesty much, but not so much I'd soil the
You were about to!
Then your wishes.
You were fully prepared to murder that child, Kane.
In the world. Our flight means nothing if we remain alone.
So first we should murder this child, and then we should call for backup.
And Rosa, she must share our flight.
And she will. Thank you.
I'm not doing this for you.
I'm doing this so I can murder the child.
We mustn't linger here. What are the girls?
Can we kill her? Please? Pretty
Take her
please?
with us.
Come on, Cecil. I won't ask to do anything evil
Come.
again.
It's not
Come
safe
on.
here. Take my hand.
We've no time. Use force if you must.
Force this grieving child to aid her mother's murderer.
Wait.
No, didn't you hear our monologue? We're the good guys. We want to stop Baron. Let's just chase her. Okay, is it Kane? Okay, I know he said he wanted to murder you, but we're over that. Kane, come on. Kane. Okay, Kane, I know you want to murder the little girl, but how do you feel about Titans? Huh? Oh dear. Well, I'm just gonna say ahead of time that this day kinda sucked.